Oblique Seville is Jamaica's new sprint king, and we told you so 8 months ago. We told you. Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now go ahead, please hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow. When you do that, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops, which is at least once a day here on Peter Lloyd World. Also, if you enjoy the content, please hit the like button. And finally, leave your thoughts after this sports analysis where we break down the races, and then we take a look at your comments. So stay until the end. You just might hear from yourself. When you're ready? Yep, good to go. Now, growing up, my parents always told me never to say this to people. They used to say, never tell people, didn't I tell you so? But people, didn't I tell you so? 8 months ago, when I just started doing this on this channel, I said, looking on the stats, that this young man is the one to watch. He is the next sprint king out of Jamaica. I asked, and most of you said, nonsense, ridiculous. He failed in Tokyo. So yesterday, on May 21st, Saturday, May 21st, Oblique Seville recorded a massive personal best to win the men's 100 meters finals at the JAAA SDF Jubilee Series at the National Stadium. Seville, who is coached by the great Glenn Mills at Racers Track Club, won the event in an astounding 9.86 seconds to shatter his previous best of 10 seconds flat. In running this race, Seville becomes the second fastest man over the men's 100 meters. The only person to have run faster thus far this year is the Kenyan superstar Ferdinand Omiyale, who has an astounding 9.85 seconds to his credit. So Oblique Seville has become the second fastest man in the world to date for 2022. Here he is running that astounding 9.89 seconds yesterday. Now, I don't think I need to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Oblique Seville is a gentleman running out of lane number 3. He's the one who's 78 meters ahead of the entire field and is just absolutely dominant. But we should have seen this coming. In his last series of races, he has been consistently lowering his time. His form looked spectacular. I believe this was at the Jubilee Series 2.0 recently, where he did this. A minus 3.1 headwind, and he was dominant. This was, of course, in the heats.
Off and running. Even start now. The man in lane 6 gets going. That's McPherson. Moving forward. That's the man in lane 4. Sent off and running. Even start now. The man in lane 6 gets going. That's McPherson. Moving forward, that's the man in lane 4, taking it, Oblique Seville, 10.28.
Then in the finals, he came back and astonished many of you, running that 10 flat over the men's 100 meters.
Sent off and running, great start that for Dennis. Also traveling well, Oblique Seville. Oblique Seville moves away from the rest of the field, and he'll take this one, Oblique Seville. 10.01 the flash time. Negative 0.4. 10 seconds flat. That's a new personal best, and he's inching closer. Give him a big hand, Oblique Seville. Sent off and running. Great start that for Dennis. Also traveling well, Oblique Seville. Oblique Seville moves away from the rest of the field, and he'll take this one, Oblique Seville. 10.01 the flash time. Negative 0.4. 10 seconds flat. That's a new personal best, and he's inching closer. Give him a big hand, Oblique Seville.
Now, at no point in time could I ever claim to be a sports genius, a sports analyst. I'm a huge fan of track and field. Have always been since I was at Kingston College. I ran for Kingston College. I ran in the 100 meters and the 200. Terrible at the 200 meters, by the way. And I did long jump. I just love track and field, like many Jamaicans. But for me, I was a little astounded as to why so many of you who are way more prolific, far more accomplished in terms of your knowledge of track and field than I could ever be, why you doubted this young man. It was kind of obvious looking at the stats over the last several years. Now, okay, Oblique Seville has recovered, thank God, from horrific injury. The bane, as I keep telling you, of most athletes, and he has clearly, Dan Mills has worked his magic to get him to evolve beyond the psychological scarring, and obviously his physio and doctors have helped him to heal physically. Sometimes we just have to be patient, and I keep saying these are young people. Just give them a little time and look at the stats. The fact of the matter is, a house isn't built in a day. It takes a while to build anything, and it's the same thing with a career. And if you had just looked at his stats, what he did in Tokyo, a lot of people don't understand, was phenomenal. He made it to the semi-finals in his first outing at the Olympics, and he ran some solid times. Most people don't seem to remember what happened to Usain Bolt when he got to his first Olympics. He came last in that 200 meters. Does no one else remember this? We have to be patient with these athletes. Just look at the numbers. Look at the numbers, I beg you. That's all you have to do. Look at it. Look at his performance consistently since he's been healing over the last 2 to 3 years. Look at the stats. And then this year, having had a confidence booster, I believe, from getting to the semi-finals in the Olympics, meaning he was one of the 20 fastest men in the world last year. Just a lot of people don't understand this. There are hundreds and thousands of sprinters. If you make it into the top, the semi-finals at the Olympic Games, you are an elite athlete, and the respect must be due. And if you've been looking at him running thus far since he started his open season, the times have just been lowering, and he's been taking his time. Now, here's what's scary to me. He slowed down a full 5 meters before he ran through that line. Watch him slow down. Watch. He came right off the gas. Do you understand what that means? If he came right off the gas, I mean way off, he eased all the way up. He didn't stop, but he certainly eased up. You saw it there. This means that he could probably run 9.6, 9.65, 9.7. I mean, he can literally do this. So, Jamaica's Oblique Seville is now the new sprint king here on the island. And we here at Peter Lloyd World predicted this and told you this 8 months ago, because it was just obvious. It wasn't, you didn't have to be an expert, just look at the stats. So let's take a look at your comments about Oblique Seville on our last video about him. Morridge Fowler wrote, take care of the youth, our new champion. I agree, my boss. 100%. I agree, King Fowler. G. Go said, if only he wasn't so small. I see no room for power development. Small bones / frame. And Greaves, Queen Anne Greaves says, this is a young man that have earned my respect. I admire his work ethics. I am not personally connected with him, but I'll be praying for his success. And finally, Jerry Rock says, I do not believe any Jamaican will make it to the finals. Semi maybe. Peter, most people are looking at the Americans, while a few African countries are stating their claims to producing good sprinters. Europe too. Now, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so we can continue to grow here at Peter Lloyd World. Remember, our goal now is 20,000 subs. We get there to your assistance, so please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you enjoy the content, hit the like button. Go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video drops, which is at least once a day. And finally, leave your comments. Please leave your comments. Remember, you're royals, you're kings and queens. Bless up!